Hey, good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning in on this nice Friday evening, at least where I'm at. I had a suggestion that was left to me in a comment to maybe do a live or a segment about it. And the segment pretty much goes like this. What are my favorite top 10 groups and my 10 most comforting, relaxing songs to listen to? So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I hope you like what I share with you. Now, keep in mind, this is just a drop in the hat. There are others, but and I might expound upon it as we speak, or as you know, as you guys comment. But the first top 10 group is the Who. I've always been very loyal to them. As you know, I might have told the story before. Um, my mom used to play Tommy the Who and the rock opera Tommy album with Elton John being the pinball wizard and Tina Turner being the acid queen. So that was my first lease on the Who. The second one would be the Rolling Stones. I can listen to pretty much any of their stuff. It could be anything from the 60s material, 70s, 80s, even into the 90s. I do remember vividly as a teenager listening to the Steel Wheels album with Rock in a Hard Place and Mixed Emotions. And then, of course, a little later came the Voodoo Lounge album with Love is Strong. The third one would have to be the Beatles. Of course, my favorite song by them is always going to be Paperback Writer, but I do like the Beatles. Um, I'm actually partial to the earlier side of the Beatles rather than the later. It's not that I don't like Hey Jude or Revolution or the Long and Winding Road. I'm okay with those. They're good. But I actually prefer stuff, say, from about the time Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts came out and before that. That's probably my most preferred if I had to listen. Um, the next one, this is going back to the 50s, the Platters. I just love I just love their music. It's so melodious, so pretty, so soothing. You know, Smoke Gets in Your Eyes, Twilight Time, Only You, The Great Pretender, um, The Magic Touch, My Prayer, just to name a few. Okay, number five is actually from the early 60s. Phil Spector, Wall of Sound, The Crystals. Dadu Run Run, He's a Rebel, Then He Kissed Me, Uptown, songs like that. I do like a lot of your early 60s girl groups, especially the Shirelles, the Crystals, the Ronettes, the Marvelettes, the Velvelettes, that's it. Um, I just like those. I've always been a fan of those girl groups. Number six, Gladys Knight and the Pips. Again, too many to name. My top favorite by Gladys Knight and the Pips would have to be If I Were Your Woman. Of course, I like the other material, like Daddy, Swear I Do Declare, I believe is the name of the song. Neither one of us want to be the first to say goodbye. Best thing that's ever happened to me. Midnight Train to Georgia. Got to use my imagination, on and on. I feel a song in my heart. I also like Gladys Knight and the Pips' version of The Way We Were. She did a nice rendition of it. Number seven, we talked about this on one of the last lives. The Bee Gees. I like everything from their 60s folk material Of course, when you start getting into the 70s with Lonely Days, and then, as it progressed a little further, and then right around, I wouldn't consider the album Main Course, the one that has Jive Talkin', Fanny Be Tender with My Love, um, Wind of Change. I would not categorize that as where they switched over and transitioned to disco. I would not. The disco material actually started the following album, Children of the World with You Should Be Dancing, and Love So Right, which is a slow one by them, and Boogie Child. Basically, from that album forward is where you saw the disco side of the Bee Gees. Number 8, Kiss. I've always been a fan of Kiss. I always thought they were a great group. Um, I remember when I was a little boy, I might have been about 4 or 5. I can't remember if it was a book or if it was a record album, but I see these guys wearing platform shoes with makeup on. And at the time, I thought they were cool. And then, of course, later I found out, that they were a rock group. And then I heard I Was Made for Loving You, of course, the one that most people know. And then, of course, Beth. And, you know, they just did so many. I Want to Rock and Roll All Night, Calling Dr. Love, Christine 16, Lick It Up, Heaven's on Fire. Of course, now I'm getting into the 80s side of them. But I do like Kiss. That's a good one. Number 9 would have to be Metallica. Yeah, I know that's a little bit different from some of the stuff I've been explaining, but then again, but realize my musical tastes are very eclectic. I'm not just, in a subset of a subset. I'm all over the place. Metallica, Enter Sandman, The Unforgiven, For Whom the Bell Tolls, Master of Puppets, just so many different ones. That guitar riff, I mean, that's that's untouched. It's phenomenal. I just love that riff. I mean, I always have. Number 10, I've always been a big fan of Debbie Harry, Blondie. I do remember as a kid growing up, my parents had the Eat to the Beat album. It was the one that come out after Heart of Glass. It's not Parallel Lines, which is the one most people know. But it had, The Hardest Part, Dreaming, Shayla, Atomic, Die Young, Stay Pretty. So I grew up on that album, and then of course Debbie Harry. Later on, she went solo in the in the 80s, about 83 or so. She started doing stuff on her own. But I love Debbie. She's phenomenal. I think she's great. So now we are going to go and talk about my 10 most comforting, relaxing songs. This is just a few. It goes much further. If I wrote down every song that was comforting or relaxing to me, it wouldn't even make a piece of notebook paper. I would fill it up. I mean, it's a lot. But what I have here, I chose a few. Always been a fan of Mandy by Barry Manilow. That song is absolutely beautiful. I like the way that Barry took that song, which was originally titled Burrandy by a man named Scott English. But he took that song and he completely redid it and made it all his own. The second one is by the group Abba. I know somebody asked me about Abba in one of my lives that I did, I think 2 back. They did a song off the Voulez-Vous album called Chikitita. It is absolutely beautiful. If you've never heard it, I highly recommend all of you to check it out. It's really pretty. It transitions. It starts off slow, it picks up, but it transitions, and I like songs that transition. Number three, I'm going to go back to the 1950s for a minute, and I have to tap on a television show. For all of you that are familiar with Laverne and Shirley, Carmine Ragusa, Eddie Mecca's character, if you remember, he used to walk around and go, "You know, I go from rags to riches." I've always been a fan of that song by Tony Bennett. So that would have to be one of the ones that's comforting and relaxing to me. I don't know what it is about Tony's voice. I just love it to pieces. All right, number four is also a song that I do karaoke because it's in my vocal range. I Can't Stop Loving You by Ray Charles. I absolutely love that song. It's so pretty. Don't get me wrong, I'm also a fan of Georgia on My Mind and What I Say, Busted. You know, he's done, I think Ray was a phenomenal artist. You know, I read his backstory, kind of sad, but I think he was a phenomenal artist, great piano player. Um, the next um, one of my subscribers could probably identify with me because we both like the classic country music. Love Will Turn You Around by Kenny Rogers. Now, I grew up with Kenny Rogers in my house. My dad had some albums. The Gambler, You Decorated My Life, Coward of the County, Lucille. Um, let's see, what am I leaving out? Through the Years, that's another one. Lady, which is a beautiful song. For those of you that don't know, I'm going to share a little bit of information with you. Lady was actually written by Lionel Richie. So if and they were good friends, they were both, you know, buddy. But if you stop and think about something, because the first time I ever heard that, I could sense Lionel's footprints on that song. Um, but not only did Kenny Rogers get a number one with it, but Lionel Richie has also done a version of it, and it can be found on YouTube. But yeah, I do like Love Will Turn You Around by Kenny Rogers. Number six, this is a pretty one. I've always been a fan of it. I think it's beautiful as all get out. Stranger on the Shore by Acker Bilk. That is so soothing, relaxing. I just love that song so much. It's really pretty. Those of you that haven't heard it, again, I do recommend, you know, definitely giving it a listen on YouTube and sample it. Number seven is a female singer that shares heritage with me. Her name is Sheena Easton. She's Scottish. I also have Scottish heritage in my background. That's the prominent um, bloodline in me of all, you know, what makes up of me. But I do like the song For Your Eyes Only from the James Bond movie. Well, not just that one. She's also done Telephone, Long Distance Love Affair, Strut, Sugar Walls, Modern Girl, Morning Train 9 to 5, her first song that she ever had. But I do like Sheena Easton a lot. I am going to tell off on myself as a young boy. I did have a crush on her. I thought she was the most prettiest woman that ever walked the face of the earth at that time. But I do like that song. Number eight, Gone Too Soon, great voice. Whitney Houston, Didn't We Almost Have It All? Now, don't get me wrong. I like pretty much anything Whitney Houston has ever put out. That one, All at Once, her version of I Will Always Love You, How Will I Know, So Emotional, Love Will Save the Day, um, I Want to Dance with Somebody. And that's just to name a few, you know. And of course, All the Man That I Need and I'm Your Baby Tonight, which came a little later. But I've always been a fan of Whitney Houston. My dad used to always call her Golden Voice. So but I think she's phenomenal. Number 9, Nat King Cole, Mona Lisa. I love Nat. I think he was phenomenal. Again, great. I like his version of Unbelievable. I also liked it when he and his daughter Natalie did it together, through the miracle of technology. But I've always been a fan of Nat King Cole. Another one he did, Ramblin' Rose, now that I think of it. And another one he did I liked was called Send For Me. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe Sonny Bono wrote that song, if memory serves me correctly. Number 10, Nobody Does It Better by Carly Simon. Another song, I like the way it starts out, and then as the song goes along, it picks up. But those are a few of the songs that I do like, just to give you an idea. And as you can see, my musical tastes are pretty eclectic. So let's see. Let's get into the comments. Let's see. Hey, good evening. Good evening, Richard. Let's see. Good evening, Jan. Jan from New York City. Good evening, Sunset. Let's see. Yeah, Metallica. I mean, how can you go wrong with Metallica? They have. I love that riff, that guitar. I mean, how can you? Let's see. Oh, Richard. Yeah, ballads. Okay. Let me see. Let me think. I'll tell you. I'll tell you another song I do like that's a ballad. It's from the 50s. It's by a woman named Etta James. Actually, she did two, come to think of it. One of the ones she did was called At Last. And then the other one is called Sunday Kind of Love. Now, years later, in the 80s, Reba McEntire, which she is one of my favorite top, more recent favorite country singer, female country. I love her to death. But she did a cover of it, and she took that song and made it all her own. But I like my ballads too. I really do. That's just a couple that I can think of right offhand. Let's see. Waterloo, Abba, love everything. Yeah, so do I. I grew up with them in my household. My mom and dad were big fans. My sister, graduating high school in 1981. So I actually grew up with, aside from the Who and the Tommy thing, I actually grew up in a household where music was always around, country, rock, whatever it was. So yeah, I did grow up with ABBA. Waterloo, I'm extremely familiar with. But I'm glad that I was able to come on here and and I like that this suggestion was brought to me, because I've been wanting to go live again. I just didn't know what to talk about. And then I happened to thumb through my comments. Now, I will say this. I have been going back, looking at comments that were left that I might have overlooked in the last couple of 3 days. So I have been going back and responding. By the way, Richard, I don't know if you saw it. You were one of the ones that I found a comment from 3 days back. I went ahead and commented to you earlier today. So if you haven't seen it, if you want to check that out, I did respond back to you. But, if you want to ask me anything else while I have you all here, since we're back to music again, which doesn't bother me any. You did. Okay. All right. Great. Yeah. So, that right there is a drop in the hat. I'll tell you another artist that I do like. I didn't mention him, but I do like him a lot. And I don't and I don't discriminate when it comes to musical artists and groups. I really don't. I've always been a big fan of Elton John. One of the songs I wanted to include on that list, but I left it off. But I'll go ahead and add it in because it's another one that's comforting and soothing to me and all that. I do like the song Someone Saved My Life Tonight by Elton John. I've always been a big fan of that one. Um, I do like other Barry Manilow. Can't Smile Without You. Weekend in New England. Um, Even Now. Ready to Take a Chance Again. But, you know, there's so many different ones. But I'm all over the place when it comes to music. Whenever I used to go and make music CDs or cassettes or anything like that, um, every song was different. Every song was different. It's almost like looking at a soundtrack because each song is like a compilation. But that's the way that I like to come across whenever I because the only time you'll ever catch me the only time you'll ever catch me sit down and actually listen to a whole album from front to back, flip it over, and then the other side, or a CD from front, from start to finish. The album has got to be extremely good. And there are a few artist groups out there. Um, Again, I grew up with the 80s music. I will tell you an album that I could literally put in my CD player, close the door, hit the play, sit back and listen to the whole thing. Def Leppard Hysteria. I don't think there's one song on that particular album that wasn't good. And I would say Pyromania is an easy step across. That was also another good album, but I do like Def Leppard a lot. Um, One of my favorite soundtracks, though, this might be a little bit surprising to some of you. The American Graffiti album, not the original American Graffiti, the one that came out in 73. That is a phenomenal album if you ever get a chance. The songs are good, but I like Wolfman Jack. Let's see. Hey, good evening, Paula. Hi, Rose. Good to see you. Let's see. Oh, Richard. Yeah. It's funny that you mention One Voice. That's a good one. You know what? Come to think of it, that's actually one song by Barry that actually slipped my mind. I completely forgot about that one, but that is a good tune. I love it. Um, oh, thank you, Paula. I appreciate that. Yeah, I just want to mix it up, change it around. Instead of me always coming on in a pre-record scheduled time, which don't get me wrong, I've got a video coming on tomorrow at 1:30. That's like clockwork. My days are Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and then if I get a wild bug up me, I might put up a bonus or do a live in between like I'm doing now. So um but I grew up with so much different music. I remember my dad going out and buying Queen the Game with Another One Bites the Dust and Crazy Little Thing Called Love. I remember the day he brought that home. I remember the night that my dad walks in the house where we were living, goes to his turntable. He's got the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack, going back to the Bee Gees for a minute, but with other stuff too. But going back to that, I remember my dad taking the album, getting a little razor and then taking the record out, putting it on the turntable. And that was another one Another great soundtrack album I grew up with. Grease with Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta. I could pretty much recite that one as much as I've heard it. But my thing, but I'm a big soundtrack person. I'm a big soundtrack person when it comes to a lot of music because every song is different. But as I mentioned before, I will listen to an album by one group or artist in its entirety, but it has to be a really good one. Um, you know, but let's see. Oh yeah, Paula, absolutely. It's something different. It's something different, to put because I'm always open to random, a little bit of change. Let's see, do you? Oh, Rose, I most certainly did. My sister grew up with the Carpenters. She had a lot of their albums, um, as a teen. My favorite song, and Jan from New York City Saves Money knows the answer to this question. My favorite song by the Carpenters is Yesterday Once More. There's something about that song that just, I guess you could say that would be another one that's a comfort or relaxing song to me. But I do like that one. We've only just begun, Rainy Days and Mondays. Superstar, I do like their version of Please Mr. Postman. There's a Kind of Hush. I like their version of that from Herman's Hermits. Um, let's see. They did one called Sing a Song, that one. Um, I know I'm leaving Top of the World. Oh, yes. That, most people may or may not know this. That's actually a cover. Most may not know. The originator, and Richard, if you're still out there and you being a classic country guy, you'll probably pick up on this. Top of the World was originally done by Lynn Anderson earlier in 73. But she originated the song, and then the Carpenters did it a few months later. The Carpenters were great. Every time, and I'm telling off on myself, and it's okay because I appreciate you guys so much for being here and just in general. But every time I hear Karen's voice, I get misty eyed, and I don't know. There's something about her voice. She was such a talented person, such a talented, you know, like Whitney Houston. I mean, that voice. I mean, we'll always remember. We can hear a song. Oh, that's Whitney. Oh, there's Karen. We'll always know. So, it's one of those things. Let's see. Yep. Um, Jan, the way that I found that out, um, once upon a time, years back, on cable, the music choice channels. One day, listening to classic country, which I do love, and I hear Top of the World. I'm like, wait a minute, what's the Carpenters doing on here? Keep in mind, I knew Lynn Anderson because my dad had some of her records, like Rose Garden and Take Me Home, Country Roads. I like her version of it. But then I hear it. I looked down. I said, who is this? I looked down. It said Lynn Anderson. So then now keep in mind, I didn't have a computer at that time. All I had was a book to go by. So I looked it up. And I was completely amazed to find out that, that she had originated it. But both versions are great. If you've never heard it, that's another one I urge you guys to go and listen to. Yeah, Richard, she did leave this earth way too early. I remember when she passed, even though I was like about 8 or 9 when she died. But I do remember she wound up passing away, I think, a day before my mom's birthday, because my mom's birthday was on the 4th, and I think Karen passed on the 3rd of that um, of 83. Let's see. Who sang Country Roads Take Me Home? All right. You're all right. John Denver. He's another one that I grew up with too now. And he's another one that passed away too early. Of course, he passed away, flying that homemade plane that he had made. But I will say this: I'm sorry he's gone. Very talented man. But I will say this: he passed away doing what he loved. But I did grow up with John Denver, Sunshine on My Shoulders, Calypso, Fly Away, I'm Sorry, Back Home Again, Thank God I'm a Country Boy, Take Me Home Country Roads. Um, oh, how could I leave out the one prime song by him? And he actually sang it. It was about his wife, Annie's song. And I guess you could actually throw that on that comfort list as well. That's one of those types of songs. Rose. Me being the age that I am, again, I also grew up with Elvis Presley. I love Return to Sender. I can pretty much call out a lot of his songs. Return to Sender, Treat Me Nice, I Beg of You, Wear a Ring Around Your Neck, Big Hunk of Love, Teddy Bear, Heartbreak Hotel, Don't Be Cruel, Mystery Train. Although I believe he was still at Sun Records when he did that. That's Where Your Heartaches Begin, but I believe that was a cover. But yes. Oh, and Love Me, Love Me, Love Me Tender. Those are two separate songs, by the way, in case those of you that don't know. But I did grow up with Elvis Presley. Let's see. Neil Diamond, absolutely. Cracklin' Rosie, America, Love on the Rocks, Shiloh, Holly Holy. There we go. That's it. Thank the Lord for the Nighttime. But I'll tell you the one. This is a true story. This actually happened to me. I'm going to share this with you guys. So there was this one place that I used to go to and do karaoke. I haven't been in a long time. And keep in mind, and if I don't feel comfortable in the environment that I'm in, I'm quiet as a mouse. The vibe has to be right, or I'm not going to do it. But Sweet Caroline. And what happened is a man had put in a request. And I'm in there. And the guy, not the guy that chose the song, but the guy that ran the karaoke, he speaks up and says, "Does anybody in here know Sweet Caroline?" Of course, I go, "Give me the mic." So I got up there. Bam. No problem. Mainly because that is one of, if not my top favorite song by Neil. And Neil is phenomenal. He did so many great songs. And that's just a few, off the top of my head. But tell you who else I do like as well. I am a fan of Chuck Berry, Sweet Little 16, rock and roll music. Too Much Monkey Business. All right. One song he did, people misconstrue because of the title. Yes, Sunset. Neil is still alive. I think he just had a birthday not too terribly long ago. I think he's about 81 or 2 now, but he's still alive. But when it comes to Chuck Berry, he's a good one. Phenomenal. I mean, he's a pioneer. I mean, he lived and performed and all the way up until he passed. Little Richard, Good Golly Miss Molly, Long Tall Sally, Rip It Up, Jenny Jenny, Lucille, Keep a Knockin', and that's just to name a few, Slippin' and Slidin'. So I do like I said, when it comes to music, I'm all over the place. And I do get into big band too, like, Don't Sit Under the Apple Tree, Rum and Coca-Cola, Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy, things like that. I do like the Andrews Sisters. I like Glenn Miller, Count Basie, Woody Herman, to name a few. Um, things like that. So let me see. What have I left out here in the lineup? Yep. Thank you, Jan. Yeah, he's still alive. So yeah, like I said, he celebrated his 81st or second birthday. Wow. See, Richard. Okay. And like I said, I'm gonna tap on my reply back to you earlier today. You and I could definitely be really good friends because, wow, I haven't thought of the Mills Brothers in 100 years. Dang, that's a good one. That's a good one. I did not. Wow. Let's see. I was spoiled by radio in the 60s and 70s. Yeah, Sunset. I'll tell you the music that I'm partial to in the 1960s. I'm actually partial to the early 60s side of things. Don't get me wrong, I did like the British Music Invasion was cool. I did like it. Psychedelic. I know psychedelic was part of the element to help launch what became. But I will tell you this about the 1970s. To me, the 1970s is the decade, I could be wrong, but this is just my take on it. The 1970s is, to me, I always thought was the decade where music was perfected. Because that's where everything came together. The 60s hadn't quite got there yet. But the 70s, then you had that wind of change in the Woodstock in 69. And then you had CCR and, stuff like Free All Right Now. And then, it just let in. Let's see. Cab Driver. Okay. Yeah. Yes. I remember that. Let's see. Dear Mr. Fantasy, Traffic is cool. I'll be honest with you, Sunset, I honestly found the group Traffic to be, that's another one like I felt about Eddie Kendricks, underrated. I really thought they were an underrated group, but they're phenomenal. I'm trying to think of a song. I'm having a slight moment, but there is a song that Traffic did that they're pretty decently. Oh wait, no, just disregard, scratch that. I'm thinking of a group called Triumph, not Traffic. But yeah, that's a group that I think that was underrated. Let's see. Yes, Rose, they are all great. I just can't get into the modern music. I just can't. There's no originality. I mean, in today's world, what? Feed your content into a computer? Yeah, we got a hit. This is a bad song. This is cool. Yeah. No. Oh, Richard. Yeah. Leo Sayer. That, you know what? That's a pretty song. When I Need You. I think within the last year, because keep in mind, even though I have a YouTube channel, so to speak, I'm also a YouTube onlooker because I'm subscribed to a lot of people. I just recently found out within the last year or so that "When I Need You" is actually a cover. Leo Sayer is the cover. I can't remember who did the original, but they're both good. But I would have to favor Leo's version. Oh, I'll tell you a song by Leo Sayer in addition to that one that I like. He did one called Long Tall Glasses. Every time I hear that, I just it's a good kind of corny type music, but I like that one. He did. There's another song of "Not You Make Me Feel Like Dancing" that's pretty good too. But um, Leo Sayer put out a song very underrated. I don't think it was a big hit for him. It's called "When the Money Runs Out," and that's toward the latter part of the '70s, like '79, which is pretty good. But I do like Leo Sayer. Most of you may or may not know "The Show Must Go On" by Three Dog Night. Yes, Jan, I know how much of a fan, I know how much you love your Three Dog Night. But "The Show Must Go On," Leo Sayer actually did the original, and then Three Dog Night did the cover, thereafter. Yeah, yeah, that is a beautiful song. Richard, great pick. Great one. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry, Rose. I missed one here. Oh, Jerry and the Pacemakers, "Don't Let the Sun Catch You." That's such a that that is such a pretty song. I do like I do like Jerry and the Pacemakers a lot. I think they were another great underrated group as well. Um, what was the other song? "Young Girl, Get Out of My." I think "Young Girl." That's another one. But yeah, that's a fabulous group. I love Jerry and the Pacemakers. Um, let's see. Love Three Dog Night. Chuck Nagrin wrote his autobiography. Oh, I think I remember. I do remember that particular autobiography. I do remember once upon a time. This is, don't get me wrong, it's been a coon's age. It really has. But there was a time, and then Richard mentioning Geraldo on one of the other shows. I do believe that on Geraldo, he had Chuck Nagrin and a bunch of like Peter Noon. You had a lot of your '60s people on there, and I do remember because I think that autobiography has been around for a while, but I keep remembering. I do remember seeing Chuck Nagrin on there. That sticks out like a sore thumb, even though that's been 34, 35 years ago now. Yeah, Jen. Yeah, they're harmonies. I'll tell you another. Since I mentioned Three Dog Night, um, Shambhala is good. Um, Come to find out, Joy to the World is also a cover. I do like Eli's Coming. One. Let's see, what am I leaving out? Never Been to Spain. Of course, I mentioned The Show Must Go On. They did one called Liar. That one, okay, that's originally by a group called Argent. And there's a man, a part of that group called Russ Ballard. We share the same birthday, by the way. Just thought I'd share that. But one of the things about Russ is anytime he puts out a song, it does have a slight dark feel behind it, like a dark undertone. And that's his style most of the time. Oh, of course. Thank you, Sunset. How could I leave that one out? That was one of their biggest songs. Mama Told Me Not to Come. Yes. Um, if I'm not mistaken, that's also a cover. I'm almost certain. Um, oh, wow, Rose. Put Your Head on My Shoulder. I like Paul Anka. I have not a friend, but a friend that I know of. She met Paul Anka. She said he's one of the nicest, sweetest people you'll ever meet. But I do like Put Your Head on My Shoulder, Diana. And what was that one that come out the year I was born? Something about You're Having My Baby, that one. Um, but I like Paul. Remarkable guy. Um, oh wow, Richard Gordon Lightfoot. I'll tell you, it's funny that you mentioned at the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Powerful song, powerful. I don't think the way that Gordon sings about that song, I don't he couldn't have described it more perfectly. But I love Gordon Lightfoot. Phenomenal. One of my favorites from him, of course, is one that most people know, Sundown, Carefree Highway. Um, if You Could Read My Mind. That's but Gordon is a phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal. Love Gordon. Um, let's see. Let's see. Lake Superior. Okay, wait a minute. No. I know what Lake Superior is, but let's see. Let's see. Yeah, yeah. Let's see. What else do you guys want to talk about? Let's see. Um. Ooh. Okay, Janet. Yeah, I do like Glenn Campbell. I like Wichita Lineman. I, my dad, when I was a kid coming up, I remember that one. By the time I get to Phoenix, and then another song I used to do karaoke, and I can add this to my comfort list as well. Like I said, the list is virtually 100 miles long. Rhinestone Cowboy. And I do a very, very good job singing that. No, I'm not trying to brag, but that song is in my octave range when I sing, so that works for me. There was this one person that used to always come in, and every time I did, or he did rather, I'd have to do that song because he just liked the way I did it. So let's see. Let's see. Oh, another one by Glenn, Southern Nights, also a cover. Can't remember who did it, but right off. Let's see. Paula, yes, Gordon Lightfoot sang Edmund Fitzgerald, and you felt like he was actually there going through it. Amazing talent. Didn't Edmund Fitzgerald? Oh, okay. All right, Richard. I was. All right. Yeah, you put the pieces of the puzzle together. Yes, it did. Yeah, if I remember back around what the middle 70s, I think in November of 75, I believe is when it happened. But yes, Lake Superior. I do believe that's where it did occur. Yes. Mm. Yes, Sunset. I do like Waylon Jennings. Only Daddy That'll Walk the Line. I'm a rambling man. I'm sure Hank done it this way. One of my favorites by Waylon is one called Amanda. I love I love that song. I just um And of course, we all know he did the song for the Dukes of Hazzard, "Just a Good Old Boys." We know that. Um, there's another one he did, but I can't quite think of the song that he did at the moment. I'm kind of having a little bit of a. It's about living like this. Let me see. I hate to I hate to feel like I'm cheating over here, but let me see. Let me get this title of this song. Ain't living long like this or something like that. I believe that's what it's called. That's it. All right. Just making sure my brain had to play catch up. But yeah, ain't living long like this. Are you sure Hank done it this way? Um, yeah, Richard, Amanda, I love that song. It's just so pretty. Yes, Janet, I did that. But by the time I started to type it in, it came to me. But yes. No, that's fine. No, that's like taking a math test and being allowed to use a calculator in school. Which, by the way, I didn't mind that, but you didn't hear it from me. So let's see. Allman Brothers. Lord, I was born a rambling man. That one. Whipping Post. Statesboro Blues. Jessica. Midnight Rider. Just to name a few. To give you an idea, those are the ones that come to my mind right off. But I like the Allman Brothers. They're cool. They're good. Legendary. Yep. Midnight Rider, I would have to say is probably my most favorite by them. I just love the dynamic. Now, I'm from Jacksonville. Now, if you stop and think about and do the math, Melissa, thank you. That's the other one. Leonard Skinner. Now, keep in mind, the cemetery that Leonard Skinner or Ronnie Van Zant is laid to rest in is not but 4 red lights away from me. But I'm in Jacksonville. Leonard Skinner, love them. 38 Special, love them. Molly Hatchet, they were good. That's to name a few groups that come from Jacksonville. Johnny Tillotson comes from Jacksonville. Pat Boone comes from Jacksonville. Right. Sunset, you and I are on the same page. Right. Which one? Gimme Three Steps, Freebird, Saturday Night Special, Gimme Back My Bullets, That Smell, What's Your Name, Sweet Home Alabama, um, The Ballad of Curtis Lowe, to name a few, to give you an idea. So I'm not completely, like I said, I'm pretty well versed on them. I'm well versed on 38 Special and the others too. Let's see. Rose, I do love Glenn Campbell. Actually, as I mentioned a few minutes back, um, Rhinestone Cowboy is one of the songs that I like to do karaoke because it's in my vocal range. Southern Nights I can do, but the other one works better. Let's see. Let's see. Trying to see what. Well, if you want to mention anything else, um, ooh, Sunset. Okay. Let's see here. Bad Company. Rock and Roll Fantasy. Can't Get Enough. Good Loving Gone Bad. Shooting Star. Moving On. I'm Ready for Love. They I like Bad Company. That is a phenomenal, great 70s group. I really like Bad Company. Gone, Gone, Gone. That's another one they did. Um, just to name a few. Let's see. Um, yeah, Grand Funk Railroad, The Locomotion. We're an American Band. Shoot, the other one. I just had the other one in my mind. Some Kind of Wonderful. You know, they're good. Let's see. I'll tell you another one. Another one I liked. I did like I'm Your Captain, and another one I liked was called Inside Looking Out. And, and they were great. Richard, one of the ones by Lou Rawls that sticks out like a sore thumb for me. You'll Never Find Another Woman Like Mine. But he also had another song called Natural Man, I believe, earlier. But I do like Lou. He's got a good sound. Um, Journey. Okay. My favorite album by Journey is actually the Infinity album. For some reason, I just like. And my favorite song is on that album. I like the song called Anytime. But Journey, Wheel in the Sky, Lights, Love and Touch and Squeeze and Faithfully, Any Way You Want It, Separate Ways, Worlds Apart, um, Open Arms, Don't Stop Believing, Who's Crying Now. Journey is good, but my favorite album would have to be Infinity. Let's see. And it really sucks the way they, excuse me for saying sucks, but it's really sad the way they treated Steve Perry. That man made that group. They say they got another singer in his place that sounds like him, but it's never the same. It's like Peter Cetera with Chicago, another group I like, by the way. And there's a lot of songs that they did that I'm into. Okay, It's Just the Rain. Yep, yeah. Trial by Fire album. Okay, yes. Yep. You know what? We could all be friends. I mean, in like real time friends, because we have so much in common. Ted Nugent. Okay, Ted Nugent put out one of the greatest songs. This is just me that you'll ever want to lay your ears on. How can you not like the song Stranglehold? Yeah, it's 7, 8 minutes long, but well, that Stranglehold, State of Shock, give me a minute, Wango Tango, Cat Scratch Fever. How could I leave that one out? Then in the 80s, he had stuff like, Little Miss Dangerous. He did a cover of a song called Little Red Book that was real popular in the mid 60s by a group called Love. But I love Ted. He is a phenomenal guy. He is a phenomenal guy. That man, I commend him. Richard, if you've never heard of Stranglehold, definitely take about 8 to 10 minutes of your time, go to YouTube and type it in and listen to it. I mean, he sings in the song, but I tell you what, that's a phenomenal Free for All. Oh, how could I leave that out? Snakeskin Cowboys is another one. Um, yes, Sunset Steve did have soul. I tell you what, when he put out and went solo for a little while, he did the song "Oh Sherry" and "Foolish Heart." Those are a couple that most people know by Steve. Yeah, yeah, Sunset. They are stuck with auto tune and all, and that's not music. Sorry, but no. Linda Ronstadt, she, it's sad what happened to her. She was great. When Will I Be Loved? You're No Good, which were, those are all covers. Um, she did one about 1980 called How Do I Make You? That was a good one. Poor, Poor, Pitiful Me. Um, the one about Beat to a Different Drum that she did back in the 60s, that was a good one. So many by Linda. Let's see. No, Richard Rapp is not. Oh, you know what? Um, I do tend to be sarcastic, but when I think of rap music, I'm going to be honest with you. I think of a bunch of cackling hens on 78 RPM because that's really all it is, and you can't make it out. And I'm not into the profanity, because profanity doesn't make music. Oh gosh, yes, Richard. How could I leave out Blue Bayou? Since you brought that up, Roy Orbison. He did a cover of it way back when. Uh, Joni Mitchell. Yeah, Joni Mitchell. Let me see. Big Yellow Taxi, which was cool. At 17, I believe is another one she did. Or oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm getting my wires crossed, but I do like Joni Mitchell. All right, let me scroll back up here. I don't want to miss anybody. Tom Jones. Yeah, I grew up with Tom Jones, especially my mom. She's a lady. Delilah. What's New Pussycat? Shoot. It's Not Unusual. So I grew up with all of those songs by Tom. Let's see. Janet, I believe the last thing I remember about Linda Ronstadt, that's it. Thank you, Sunset. I was about to go right there. Yeah, she has Parkinson's, so that pretty much, kept her from having the ability to perform anymore after that. Oh wow. Richard, that's you hit on a doozy right there. I'm gonna have to tell you. Roberta Flack, for last time I saw that is a beautiful song. That one and Killing Me Softly with his song, and then Feel Like Making Love, which is another one she did later, maybe a year or so later. But I do like that. I do like Roberta Flack. And then she did one in the 80s. All right, since you mentioned ballads, this would be a prime one to include. With Peebo Bryson and Roberta Flack, Tonight I Celebrate My Love. That's all I can tell you. It's beautiful as all get out. And I do like slow music. And if I'm going to listen to a slow song, it's got to have emotion and feeling behind it. It can't be just a meh. It's got to have some quality there when like Total Eclipse of the Heart by Bonnie Tyler, which is another good one. Yeah, Sunset. You know what I've noticed, and I'm going to tell off on myself, and that's okay. Now that I'm in my late 40s, I can listen to a slow song and and I'll do that, and it'll make me tear up. I'll get gushy, whereas years back in my 20s or whatever, it's just a song. Maybe it has something to do, like maybe like a fine wine, I get better with age, or maybe I've lived life a little bit and realized what's been going on. I don't know. Let's see. Paula Joan Jett. Okay. For those that don't know, I Love Rock and Roll is a cover. Originally a 70s song by a group called The Arrows, if you ever want to check it out. But I do like Joan Jett. Um, I like her version of Crimson and Clover. Good cover. But I would have to say my top song by Joan Jett would have to be I Hate Myself for Loving You. I Love Rock and Roll, don't get me wrong. I've just overheard it through the years. Let's see. Pat Benatar. Wow. Yeah. We Live for Love is one of my favorites. Invincible, Little Too Late, Treat Me Right, Hell is for Children. I love the intro on Hell is for Children. I love that guitar, the drum. Invincible, Love is a Battlefield. Get Nervous. Fire and Ice. You Better Run. Even though You Better Run was a cover of the Young Rascals from the 60s. But I love Pat and Neil, her hubby. Yeah, they're great. They're fabulous. Let's see. Ooh. Yeah, Richard, I do like Nazareth. Hair of the Dog, Love Hurts, Vigilante Man. You know what? You guys are coming up with some nice ones here. I got to tell you. But yeah, you know what? I need to once I conclude this live, I'm going to pull up that Vigilante Man because that's actually one I haven't heard in quite some time, and it's a great song. But I do like Nazareth. I'm going to tell you a little quick story, and it happened. It came to realization to me about a month ago. Nazareth did a song called Holiday, and it's later than Vigilante Man, I'm thinking. And my dad had it recorded on an old reel to reel tape years back because he used to record a lot of good stuff off the radio. But then again, didn't we all? But I do remember a song called Holiday by them. Um, okay, Love Hurts. Yeah, yeah. No, Nazareth is a good group. I like them a lot. Um, oh, okay, Richard. That was the only one that you liked by them. Okay. No, yeah, I get that. Yeah. All right, Beth. I got to tell you about the song "Loving You" by Minnie Riperton. That is one of the prettiest songs I think you could ever lay your ears on. And then in the song, when she hits that real, real high note, I'm gone. I'm not going to lie to you. I got to grab a Kleenex. And I do agree with you. She died way too young. She was a remarkable singer, great voice, great talent. And yeah, if she would have hung around and didn't pass, she would have been a hit maker. That's no denying. I mean, she just had such a that voice, kind of like Karen Carpenter, very unique. Something you just know. Let's see. Crosby, Stills, and Nash, with or without Neil Young. Um, Actually, Sunset, believe it or not, all of the above. I can do Crosby, Stills, and Nash. It can be with Neil, or it can be Neil by any. Um, and I can't really narrow it down though, because again, when it comes to that, but I know a few songs like Our House, Teach Your Children Well. Now they did one in the early '80s that I really liked, and it was Crosby, Stills, and Nash. It was one called Southern Cross. That was a pretty one. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Sunset. Yes, she did. She did pass away from cancer, and she wasn't all that old. I think she was about 30. I think she. I'd have to look it up, but she wasn't all that old. I mean, she was young. Gone way too soon. Um, let's see. You know what, Beth? I want to come back to Minnie for a minute. And the song "Loving You." Think about something. Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey, like in the first few years, she would hit a very, very, very high note. It makes me wonder. I'm not certain, but I wonder if Mariah Carey was not a fan of Minnie because of the similarity. That's why I came back to that. Let's see. Wooden Ships. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Sunset. That was another one. That was another good one. Okay, 32 from. Oh, wow. You know, I lost a couple relatives myself from cancer. Um, Back in 2001, I'll tell you a quick story. I know this is about music, but in September of '01, my uncle passed away from prostate cancer. He was 74. And then a month later, my mom's brother, same age, prostate cancer. So I lost two uncles from the disease. And it's sad. It's sad. Let's see. They cross pollinate them in a lab. Okay. Guinea pig. Yep, about 32. All right. 31. Well, still, I mean, that too young. I mean, 31, you're just finding your way, and then, that happens. Um, I know this much. Me looking back, people say, "Oh, Steve, life begins at 40." Well, okay, I'm 7.5 years in. Wrong. Life didn't begin for me at 40, in my 30s, because that's where I really found myself. That's where I made life changes for the better. So that's my take. Let's see what else. What did I miss? Or did I? Well, if you guys want to ask me anything else, any music that I might. Wait a minute. Oh, cool. You met Carlos Santana. You know what? I like him. Oye Como Va, Black Magic Woman. There's another, can't think of the song, but it's much later. I think it's been within the last 20 years that Santana put out that I find is really good. But yeah, I bet he was phenomenal. The only person I ever came in contact with, I never met a celebrity. I did get a chance almost. It never fabricated. I would have had a chance to meet Millie Jackson, who was a big R&B singer back in the '70s. But one time, this was where I did karaoke. A woman that I knew, her name was Donna, and I'm there, and this guy comes in, and she said, "Steve, this is such and such. Keep in mind, I knew and I know what Conway Twitty's real last name is, Jenkins." So Donna, this woman, said, whatever it was, Jenkins, that's Conway Twitty's brother. So briefly, about 15 years ago, I did meet Conway Twitty's brother. Almost like in a passing, we just shook hands. But that's as close as I ever got to meeting a celebrity. Millie Jackson could have been, but it never fabricated. Okay. Oh, okay. That's good to know about Carlos Santana. Yeah, he seemed that way. I guess the way you saw him or the way he came off in performance, I guess, would be the same, being relaxed and sweet. That's good to know. Guys, let me see. Sylvia, here we go. I stood next to David Bowie while he was doing a sound check. He's another one I like. Thank you, Sylvia, for bringing David up. Of course, we all know David's pinnacle, I feel, was in the 1980s with but I do like Space Oddity, Changes, The Gene Genie, Heroes, Ashes to Ashes, Golden Years, Young Americans, Fame. What am I leaving out? Well, anyway, those, and then of course, later he did China Girl, Modern Love, Let's Dance, Blue Jean, later in. But David Bowie is a phenomenal. Yes, thank you, Richard. That was his prime one. Let's Dance, that was his prime song, especially, I remember back when MTV was an actual music station, not what it is now. That got played a lot. But that's a good one. Yeah. Deep Purple, Moody Blues. Yeah, Sunset. I like Deep Purple, like Highway Star, Hush, Smoke on the Water, Moody Blues. One of their best songs, Nights in White Satin. And no, Janet, I'm not trying to quote anything here, but that truly is a masterpiece. That song is done so precise. The voice that they did in Your Wildest Dreams in the 80s. Sunset, The Joker by Steve Miller Band. That's who you're thinking of. Steve Miller's another one. Fly Like an Eagle, Mercury Blues, Abracadabra, The Joker. Steve is good. Oh, Jet Airliner, Jungle Love. Richard, yeah, Fleetwood Mac. I like Fleetwood Mac even before Stevie and Lindsay joined. But yeah, Fleetwood Mac is great. Dreams, Gypsy, You Make Love and Fun, Don't Stop, Sarah, Hold Me, Tusk, Secondhand News, Can't Get It Out of My Head, Rhiannon, The Chain. Anyway, you get the idea. But I do like Fleetwood Mac, and I also, by the way, I am a fan of Lindsey Buckingham as a solo artist, and And I'm also a fan of Stevie Nicks. She's phenomenal. She's great. My favorite song by her is Talk to Me, but she put out so many good ones too. Um, Bowie was nice. I worked at a concert hall. Some artists you were not allowed to look at. Oh, well. David Bowie, again, I'm just going by, based on, because I'm on the outside looking in, because I can only go by what I see on stage. And I have seen a couple of um, with him, and I always wondered if David was every bit as good there as he was, in real time. Yeah, Richard, Stevie Nicks, Edge of 17, Leather and Lace, the one that she did with Don Henley, Talk to Me, If Anyone Falls, I Can't Wait. Rumor has it, I know that's a Donna Summer song if you look it up. And I like her too. Probably one of the best female artists that ever come along. Another one that passed too young. But rumor has it that Prince came in and he came in and laid down the piano in Stand Back. So every time you hear Stand Back, that piano, that's Prince. Oh, Sarah. I forgot about that. Yeah, Richard, that's a goodie. Wait a minute, baby. Yeah, I love Sarah. That's a good one. That's so pretty. Anything Stevie, like you say, the voice is just wow. Sunset, yeah. Paul McCartney and Wings. Which one? Junior's Farm, High, 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 Band on the Run, 1985, Jet, Admiral Halsey, Uncle Albert. What am I leaving out? Maybe I'm Amazed. Another good one. Oh, Listen to What the Man Said. Yeah, that's one of their pretty well-known ones that they put out. Let's see. The Motels. Suddenly Last Summer. Only the Lonely. Shame. I like the Motels. Martha Davis. Again, good, but sort of underrated group, I thought. But that's just me. Yeah, Paula, Steve Miller Band. Oh, let me see before I get okay. Someone's knocking on my door. Yeah. Yep. Oh, let him in. Let him in. Of course. That one, and then Silly Love Song. Since thank you, Rich. How did I leave that one out? And that's actually one of their better. That's actually one of their better well-known songs too. Is Let 'Em In, and of course Silly Love Songs. Um, let's see, Paula. Yeah, Steve Miller Band, right? That's what Sunset was trying to figure out there on that song, Pompatus of Love. So people call me Maurice because I speak from Pompatus of Love. Yeah. I tell you what, guys, you guys are coming up with some really nice stuff here. Stuff that I like and listen to actually. Yeah. Um, yeah, Rose. I like Paul McCartney as a solo artist as well. I think he's great. Um, he put out a lot of good ones. I know one he did. There's one. I believe it's Paul McCartney and Wings. It's one called Goodbye Tonight. And it came out like in the latter side of the 70s, like 78, 79. Paul also did one called Coming Up that I used to like. That was real good. Oh wow, Rose. That's another one I grew up with as a kid coming up. I love Casey and the Sunshine Band. My most favorite song by them is always going to be Get Down Tonight. Boogie Shoes. Boogie Shoes is probably a close second. I can't really say. Get Down Tonight, Boogie Shoes, Shake, 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 Shake Your Booty, I'm Your Boogeyman. Of course, the one they did on the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack, Open Sesame. But you know what? Oh, wait. Scratch that. My mind's working too fast. That's Cool in the Gang. That's another, but I like them too. But thank you, Janet. How can I leave out Please Don't Go? I have to tell you, and you already know the story because you and I have known each other for a few years, but you and my mom loved Please Don't Go. That was probably her most favorite song. She really liked that one. Yeah, if I remember, that was the one you also went out and bought the 45 on. Let's see what else is here. Okay, Richard. Funny that you mentioned Meatloaf. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Paradise by the Dashboard Light. You took the words right out of my mouth. And I mean that literally because I was actually headed in that direction, but yeah. And then of course, much later in he did And I Would Do Anything for Love. But I do like Meatloaf. He passed away not too terribly long ago either, I think a few months back. But he was phenomenal. Ooh, baby, baby, it's a wild world. Oh, I love Cat Stevens. That one. Peace Train was good. For right now, that's the only two I can think of by him. But if anybody thinks of a Cat Stevens song that I might have forgotten, definitely, if you want, write it down below. I see a little silhouette of a man, Scaramouche, Scaramouche. Will you do the fandango, thunderbolt of lightning? Yes, Richard. Yes, yes, yes. Bohemian Rhapsody. It's funny about that song. You know the story, I'm sure. But Jan and I talked about this too. I remember when the Wayne's World movie came out. I was probably about 17 by that point. And this is actually a shock when I heard it. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Janet. Morning is Broken. That was one of the other ones. Everybody said, oh my God, there's this great song from Wayne's World that's new. It's phenomenal. Freddie must have recorded it before he passed. Well, what's the name of the song? Bohemian Rhapsody. I just went, ha, 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 ha. I said, do you realize that originally came out in the 70s? I said, that's not new. I said, what they did is they took an older song and they brought it back and it recharted. Now, when it recharted in like 91, 92, it hit better the second time around than it did back in 76. I think in 76 only went to like number 9. But yeah, Richard, I love Queen. Killer Queen, Crazy Little Thing Called Love. That one, You're My Best Friend, Under Pressure. I know that was mentioned a little while ago. Bicycle Race, Fat Bottom Girls. But I do like Queen. Radio Gaga, One Vision, I Want to Break Free. All of those. Anything Queen. I thought Freddie Mercury was a phenomenal singer. I thought he was great. Father and Son, yeah, okay. Yep. Richard, you never saw Wayne's World? It's pretty good. Again, remember it's also a spin-off of SNL. Um yes, thank you, Richard. Much appreciated. We Are the Champion. We Will Rock You. This is another one. Sunset, Tie Your Mother Down. Forgot about that one. Okay, Richard. Yeah, Rod Stewart. That's another one I grew up with as a kid. I remember my mom and dad having the Foolish Behavior album that had the song Passion on it, which I think is a great. But yeah, Richard Rod. Even when he was with Faces, he was great. But you know, the First Cut Is the Deepest. Tonight's the Night. Hot Legs. Do You Think I'm Sexy? Baby Jane. Young Turks. Tonight I'm Yours. Infatuation. I mentioned Passion already. And then, Forever Young. He did My Heart Can Tell You No. Rod is another one that's a legend in his own time. That was a good one. That was a good one to hit on. Dionne Warwick. Alfie. I'll tell you a song by Dionne Warwick that I like a lot. Say a Little Prayer for Me, that one. And I also, believe it or not, Heartbreaker from the 80s, that was good. But the one that I like from Dionne Warwick that's a really nice song is called Deja Vu. I like that one. I Know You'll Never Love This Way Again. That one, I knew it would come to me if I... All right. Yeah, Rose, that's a good... I do like the song I Love You. That is a beautiful, beautiful song. Sarah Smile. Sunset, there's a little story behind that. I don't know the full detail, but I'll give you an idea. That originally came out in 73, but it didn't hit very well. So then they decided to rechart it in 76, and it did a lot better on the charts. Richard, Diana Ross. Yeah. Love Hangover, Upside Down. Chain Reaction, The Boss, Touch Me in the Morning, Last Time I Saw Him. There's a bunch of different ones by Diana. I love Diana Ross as a solo artist. And I also liked her when she was with the Supremes, too. I thought she was great. Patti LaBelle. Oh, wow. Yeah. New Attitude, Stir It Up. I also like Patti LaBelle even back in the 70s when she did that song Lady Marmalade. I liked her back in that period as well. She was great. But I love Patti. She's phenomenal. Todd Rundgren. Okay. Yeah. Yes, I like him. Can't think of any songs at the moment. Not right off, but I do like him. Yeah. Richard, yes. Ain't No Mountain High Enough. Right, that was a good one by her. Of course, the original was Tammy Terrell and Marvin Gaye, which was also another good. And I had so much respect for Marvin Gaye. He just recently, the anniversary of his passing, and his birthday just came up. But Marvin Gaye was such a phenomenal man. I even after all these years of him passing, I still have so much respect for him. I really do. Yeah, thank you, Sunset. Oh gosh, how could I not? Hello, it's me. Hey, Janet. Can you put on 3 cups of hot chocolate? One for me, one for Richard, and one for yourself? I think I need a slight caffeine kick. Let's see. Let's see. Message to Michael. Yeah, Linda, that's a good one. That's a really nice song. I really like that one a lot. You guys are coming up with some good ones here. I am just in awe. I really am. Rose, yes. I remember that when On My Own came out. I was probably about 12 or so when she did that with Michael McDonald. Another one that had a phenomenal voice. Of course, he was not only a solo artist, but he was also with the Doobie Brothers too. But I do like Michael McDonald. He's good. Let's see. That's such a pretty song. I'm on my own. Yeah. Steely Dan, Dirty Work, Reeling in the Years, Do It Again. Ricky, don't lose that number. Hey 19. That's to name a few that I liked. I'm sure I'm leaving some out, but that's a few that comes to mind. Um, okay, on second thought, add another one for Linda. Oh, wow, Richard, Dan Fogelberg. I did like him. Didn't he do one? Okay, didn't he do one? I'm a little bit out of touch with. I like Dan Fogelberg, but I haven't listened to any of his stuff really lately. But didn't he do one called Old Lang Syne, if I remember, or something like that? And there's another one. Forgive me, but I got to cheat. Let me see. Trying to see. Okay, yes, he did. Same Old Lang Syne. Okay, I was close. Richard, there is one, and I was right. I just wanted to just make sure, not that I was trying to. Okay, I thought so. Dan Fogelberg put out a really pretty song called Longer. And I remember hearing that in real time as a kid. But I do like Dan. He's another one that passed away a little bit too young. Um, Paula, I don't know if you know this or not, but the song Ben by Michael Jackson was about his pet rat. I don't know. Maybe I don't think many know that, but yeah, that's what that is about. Rose, don't stop till you get enough. I have to tell you, of all the albums that Michael Jackson put out, Off the Wall is my favorite one. Um, let's see. Sunset, yes, Dan did do a Christmas song, that Old Lang Syne. And then that, okay. George Michael, Careless Whisper, that's a good song. I like, and that was like my preteen years right there when Wham was real popular with George Michael and Andrew Ridgeley. Careless Whisper, Everything She Wants, Freedom. Of course, everybody knows the big one that they did, Wake Me Up Before You Go Go. But I do like Careless Whisper. I know every word to it. I could sing it. Let's see. Yeah, Sunset, Chicago. It was never the same when Peter Cetera left. When he left, killed it for me. 25 or 624. Saturday in the Park. Feeling Stronger Every Day. Love Me Tomorrow. Hard to Say I'm Sorry. Baby, What a Big Surprise. You're the Inspiration. Along Comes a Woman. Stay the Night. Hard Habit to Break. Um, But I love Chicago. It doesn't matter. It can be the 70s. It can be the 80s. It really didn't matter to me. Stevie Wonder? Yeah. Which one? There's so Stevie, Uptight, Everything Is All Right. I'm gonna put my glasses on that way I can just sit back and read from here. But Uptight, Everything Is All Right. I Just Called to Say I Love You, Boogie on Reggae Woman, Sir Duke, I Wish, My Cherie Amour, You Are the Sunshine of My Life, Ribbon in the Sky, Higher Ground, Living for the City, Superstition. I don't want to leave that one out. But Stevie did so many. I Was Made to Love Her. That's another one. Abba, yeah. I grew up with Abba. Pretty much all of those. SOS is probably my most top favorite song by them. Eric Clapton, sure. It's in the Way That You Use It, From the Color of Money. She's Waiting. I Shot the Sheriff. Lay Down Sally. Wonderful Tonight. Cocaine. Pretending. I also liked Eric Clapton when he was with the Yardbirds and also Cream. Yeah, Sunset. I like Shaft. Isaac Hayes. He was good. Yeah, Paula, Chicago. If You Leave Me Now. That was one of their best. Oh wow, Richard. It's funny that you mentioned Talk Talk. Let's see if we're on the same page. I remember Talk Talk being a song that come out like in the early 80s. All you do to me is talk, talk. So I think I know the one you're talking about. They were good. They also did a couple of years after that one, they did a version of a song called It's My Life. It's my life, don't you forget. Then later in, Gwen Stefani, I believe, did a cover, but I don't care for that one. I like the original better. Let's see. Renee from Talk Talk. Okay. Yep. Blue Bayou. The Pretenders. Brass and Pocket, Middle of the Road. Back on the Chain Gang. Don't get me wrong. I like the Pretenders. Pretenders is cool. The Message of Love. I'm probably leaving something out, but that's okay. But I get the idea, though. Like I said, everything here that we're talking about, I listen to this. All of this. I mean, if I want to listen to music, I want to listen to real music, not something you feed into a computer with a modified, prefabricated beat and call it a song, and then put cackling chickens behind it. No, 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 no. Let's see. Paula, I love the Eagles. Any. Hotel California, Heartache Tonight, Peaceful Easy Feeling, Desperado, Take It Easy, Already Gone, Witchy Woman. You know, my favorite song by the Eagles is probably The Long Run. Life in the Fast Lane, New Kid in Town. Anyway, that's a few that gives you an idea. But I do like the Eagles. I like Glenn Frey as a separate artist. I like Don Henley. I like Joe Walsh by himself. He's good. Um, no, Sunset. They didn't. That's just it. They were they were consistent. Um, let's see. Wow, guys. Okay. Oh my gosh, I just realized how late it is. Let's see. Paula. Okay, that's a good one I didn't think of. Pink Floyd, Money. First off, Dark Side of the Moon. Ah, I'm speechless when it comes to that album. That is a yes. I have to use the word. It is a true classic. It is a masterpiece. I grew up on The Wall. That was the album, but I do like Welcome to the Machine off of Wish You Were Here. You know, but I like Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd is great. Though I never laid a hand on you, my eyes adored you. Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. That one, Swearing to God. Late December back in 63. That one. Who loves you, pretty baby? Who loves you all through the night? But I like Frankie Valli and the Four. I like that era, that time frame of Frankie Valli. I also like the 60s stuff like Sherry and Big Girls Don't Cry, Let's Hang On, Dawn, Please Go Away, stuff like that. I'm a fan of that too. Yeah, Richard. Yeah, yes, another brick in the wall. Like, yeah, I grew up on that album as a kid, the wall. So there's not really any song off of there I don't know. I do like, my favorite song on the wall. I do like the song "Run Like Hell." That's probably one that sticks out a lot for me. I really like. Um, oh wow, Rose, Tony Orlando and Dawn. Matter of fact, I was just listening to this song a couple of days ago. But I like Tony Orlando and Dawn. Candida, Knock Three Times. That one. He Don't Love You Like I Love You. They were great. And of course, Thelma Hopkins, who was a part of that group. She was also on Give Me a Break. I know we're not talking about television. She was also on Bosom Buddies. She was also on Family Matters with Steve Urkel. She was on there too. But yeah, I do like Tony Orlando. Let's see. I want to leave anybody out. Katie Lang. Yeah. If I remember correctly, Return of the Reasoner, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't she do one called something about Queen of Popularity or something like that? But I do like Katie Lang. Katie Lang was pretty cool. She had a good sound. You know, Return of the Reasoner, you made me think of something. You mentioned Katie Lang. Melissa Etheridge is another one that comes to mind. I'm not the only one, and Come to My Window. But I do like, but I like Katie Lang. I like Melissa Etheridge too. Bonnie Raitt. Um, guys, the list. Could something? This is just figuratively speaking. I don't mean it literally. Could you just imagine all of us just sitting around at a dinner table, just tossing these different songs around to each other, like the old-fashioned ways of how people used to sit down and have an old-fashioned conversation instead of always being in a cell phone with their head buried in it. I still like that kind of thing. No, Richard, you don't. No, you don't hear of Katie Lang. I can't even remember the last time I even heard her being played, yet alone me. Yeah, yeah, that would be. Yeah, I'm old fashioned, old soul. I still like doing things. I'm like a yesteryear type person. Um, I've been through a desert on a horse with no name. Paula, I love that song. I love America. Tin Man. Um, Sister Golden Hair. That comes to mind. When you're in love with a beautiful woman. Wow, Rose. I remember hearing that in first here when I was a kid. Um, I like Dr. Hook, Sylvia's mother, cover of the Rolling Stone. I believe they did one called Only 16. I know Sam Cooke did it too. I believe that was also um I believe that was also Dr. Hook. Oh, one song that I left out, I think by Three Dog Night, Jan, you might be able to back me on this. Just an old fashioned love song. I left that one out. Bread. Oh well, Sunset. That's cool. Baby, I'ma want you if um I like bread. I don't mean the kind that cheat. I like the group. But they were good. Yeah, Jan, I knew you were gonna chime in because I know back when you were a kid, I think you ran out and bought two or three of their 45s. Um, let's see. Okay, Rose, Earth, Wind, and Fire, September, Fantasy, Shining Star, The Way of the World. Yep. Oh gosh, there's another one that they did in After the Love Is Gone. That's it. That was the one I was trying to think of. Let's Groove. Um, Fantasy, Serpentine Fire. But I do like Earth, Wind, and Fire, Philip Bailey. And I like, since we're on the subject, any of you guys remember when Philip Bailey and Phil Collins did the song Easy Lover like in late 84, early 85? Yeah, Paula. I had mentioned Leonard Skinner earlier. I don't know if I told you. I'm in Jacksonville. I'm in the same town that they were from. Matter of fact, the where Ronnie Van Zant's laid to rest, that's not but about 4 or 5 red lights down from me. There's a cemetery. It's just right up the street. And I also know where the Skinnerd house is over on the west side of Jacksonville, which is not really that far from me, about 10, 12 minutes out. Led Zeppelin, of course. Immigrant Song, When the Levee Breaks, Heartbreaker, Out of the Tiles, Down by the Seaside, Kashmir, The Rover. But in the evening, Fool in the Rain. I love Led Zeppelin. You shook me all night long. Wow, Richard, Simon and Garfunkel, absolutely. Any, any. I Am a Rock, Hazy Shade of Winter, Bridge, uh, Bridge Over Troubled Water, Cecilia, El Condor Pasa, The Boxer. Um, Homeward Bound. That's it. I was trying to think of that. But yeah, Richard, I love Simon and Garfunkel. I think they were phenomenal. Seals and Crofts. Yes. Diamond Girl. That's the only one at the moment that's ringing a bell. But I do like I do like Seals and Crofts. Mamas and the Papas, Creek Alley, dedicated to the one I love, Monday, Monday, California Dreamin'. Um, but I like Mamas and the Papas. They were good, you know. They were good. Hummingbird. Oh, okay. Yeah. Thank you, Richard. Yes, yes, yes. Forgot about that one. Um, Jan, we aren't done with our hot chocolate yet. You know, I as you guys know, you've seen Jan and I all the time on here, but we're friends. I've known each other. We've known each other since 2016. We met in a 1960s music group on a social media platform that starts with an F and ends with a K. And we became friends with there from there. But we talk all the time, and I introduced her to a certain type of hot chocolate. It's called Dark Chocolate Sensation by Swiss Miss. And it's the next closest thing to where you make hot chocolate in a little saucepan with your milk, your cocoa powder, the old fashioned way. It's probably the closest thing. And thanks to, I've introduced her to a few foods here and there that are great. Um, the last thing I introduced her to was that kefir. That's a phenomenal thing if you guys ever want to try it. To me, it's better than yogurt. It's a probiotic drink. It helps put the enzymes back in your intestines. It's really good. Um, all right, actually, guys, I gotta tell you, Jan is on her way out. I need to be on my way out. I just realized how long I've been on, but I just want to say thank you to all of you for tuning in. You guys have been phenomenal. I loved your responses. Too bad all of you guys are spread out the way you are. But yes, Richard and everybody, we could be good friends, and we are friends. No, we don't know each other on a personal level. No, we don't live in the same city, but we're friends. We're friends. All of us are. And I appreciate all of you so much. And be on the lookout. I'm going to do another live in a few days. So, be on the lookout. Thanks, Paula. Yeah, it has been fun, and you're very welcome. I can run my mouth all day about music. Music is my first love. I mean, it always has been and it always will. Right on. And the words, all right, Richard, let's go back to the 70s for a minute. To quote Isaac Hayes, you said you damn right. Right on. You know, but I'm just in awe right now. Like I said, this is great. I really enjoyed this. So be on the lookout next few days or so. I'll put up whenever I go live and I set it up, somehow it sends a notification over to YouTube to let everybody know that. So I'll give everybody a heads up. If I don't give the heads up, Jan and I are pretty close. I can just tell her and she can put it up and then kind of get it out there. We'll have it covered both ways. But thanks you guys for tuning in. Yeah, Richard, it is 9 p.m. in Florida. I think you're an hour behind me. I think you're at 8 o'clock. I think you're on Central Time, if I'm not mistaken. But I appreciate all of you guys. I don't know what to say. This has been fun, and we're gonna do it again. To quote Steely Dan. Oh, you didn't. Okay. Well, you know what, Richard? I can do this for in your. Okay, that's what I was thinking. I can do this on your behalf. What I can do is go back to where you commented on one of my threads, and I can just send you a little notification or to let you know like a couple of 3-4 hours ahead of time. That way, that way you'll know. I can do that. No problem. But thanks all of you for tuning in. I really appreciate you being here more than you'll ever know. Be on the lookout for another live. Tomorrow, Jan and I will be on at 1:30, so definitely tune in for that. And I'll see you guys next time. You're welcome, Richard. It really isn't a problem. Like I said, it's great. Uh, Thank you, Paula. I appreciate you. Not just you, all of you, all of you. So I'll see you guys next time. Be on the lookout tomorrow, my recipe Tuesday, and in the next few days I'll go live again. Richard, I'll let you know. Don't worry, but the notification will be up one way or another. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye.